Hey, boys and girls, welcome to American Heritage. Now, one thing that I have not done before is I'm going to let you read this chapter on your own. We have the very last two chapters of our American Heritage book, and they are our two most recent presidents. We have done so much of this. I want you to test your own reading comprehension. If you need to read out loud with a parent, please do that. Your parents have lived this history, and so they probably know a lot of this from their own brain. If you have any questions, you can go to them. But I also want you to be able to read for you. And I think it's funny that we actually have President Trump in our book, because by the time when this book was written, he had just become president, and we hardly knew anything about what he would do during his presidency. And I think it's amazing because right now, boys and girls, we're living out his history chapter. We're living out a huge history chapter for the world. And one day, what we're walking through right now will be in the book. So part of President Trump's history and part of his chapter will definitely include fighting this virus right now, and all our quarantine time and everything that's going on in the world. So there's so many things that will be added to his chapter while he is a president. So what you get in his chapter is like this much, because he had just started to become president when this book was written. So anyways, what I am going to do though is I'm going to go over the questions. I'm just going to go over the questions and answers for the reviews for both of those. So if you want to stop this video, read the chapter, and then come back and double check, that would be great. And then you can use this as a review for your quiz. So here we go, because this will be on the quiz. Are you ready? Number one, for page 463. It says, name one way Barack Obama helped his Chicago community after graduating from college. Do you know it? Okay, he started a project to encourage African Americans to vote for government leaders and became a civil rights lawyer. Okay, so he started a project to encourage African Americans to vote for government leaders and became a civil rights lawyer. And this is just after college. Number two, name one way Barack Obama made history when he was elected president of the United States. I will tell you, this is huge, because people who lived through segregation, where they couldn't even sit on their own spot on the bus, were able to watch and see Barack Obama become the first African American president of our country. That must have felt really good, boys and girls, because Martin Luther King's dream was starting to come true, where the color of the skin didn't matter, but the content of your character. Now, I'm not saying that Barack Obama has perfect character. No man does. But it was still a huge, huge transition for our country to have people not even be able to eat and drink at the same, drink from the same water fountains, and all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but then all of a sudden to see Barack Obama be African American president. So he was the first African American president, and he was the first president to be born outside of the continental United States. Okay, number three, why was the appointment, that's when they made her the Supreme Court justice, why was the appointment of Sonia Sotomayor to the Supreme Court an important event? Okay, look back if you don't remember. She was the first Hispanic member of the Supreme Court. So we're seeing a lot of different things with races becoming epically different throughout our more recent history. Okay, number four, where did the BP oil rig explosion take place? Where did it take place? You can go back and look. In the Gulf of Mexico. Now, the Gulf of Mexico is on the, I think we had a map on it in our chapter. Let me double check. Da-da-da. Yes, on page 460, you can actually see the Gulf Coast region. Okay, here we go. And number five, what special award did President Obama receive for his work to end wars in other countries? We've known some other people to win this. The Nobel Peace Prize. Good job. Okay, what terrorist leader was found and stopped in 2011? They mentioned him in George Bush's chapter 2. He was the bad guy. Terrorist leader named Osama bin Laden. Excellent. Okay. And if you've finished with your chapter for President Trump, that's like this long because he just barely became president. Let's try the true false together. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Page 467. If you haven't read the chapter, this is just wasting your time. Make sure you read the chapter first. Number 1, these are all true and false. Mr. Trump was the Democratic candidate for president of the United States. So we have the Democrats and we have the Republicans. So those are the two major parties. Was he a Democrat or was he a Republican? It says he was a Democratic candidate. False. He was the Republican candidate for president of the United States. Okay, number 2, Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton in the race for president of the United States. So who was he running against? And did he defeat her? Was her name Hillary Clinton? Yes, it was. So he defeated, that's true. Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton in the race for president of the United States. Number 3, Mr. Trump's campaign slogan was 4 more years. No, it was what they nicknamed MAGA. They didn't even call it that then, but it's Make America Great Again. So that was his slogan. Do you remember his slogan? Like Eisenhower had slogans. So this was his slogan, 4 more years, not 4 more years. Forgive me. It was not 4 more years. It was Make America Great Again. Number 4, President Trump met with the leader of North Korea about a peace agreement. Ooh, did he meet with the leader of North Korea? And that's something I might want to double check. If I was taking the quiz, I would be like, was that North Korea or South Korea? Let me double check. And the answer is true. It was North Korea. President Trump with the leader of North Korea about a peace agreement. Number 5. And I bet you when they rewrite this chapter, they probably won't even mention this because there's so many other things that have happened during the presidency. Even though I do remember when the Kilauea lava flow added at least 10 miles of new, sorry, not 10 miles. This is the true false though. The Kilauea lava flow added at least 10 miles of new land to the island of Hawaii. Was it 10 miles? I remember the lava flow, but it was not 10 miles. That's false. It was 1 mile, which is still amazing because it was flowing and flowing and flowing. It did a lot of damage, but it also added new island, but it was only 1 mile, not 10. Okay, so you are done with your book. Congratulations. Once you have taken your quiz on Google Classroom, you're done. And hopefully your biography is done. Hopefully you've learned a lot. Hopefully you have taken away some big lessons about perseverance and diligence and overcoming obstacles when things are hard. And just knowing, boys and girls, that whatever you're doing in your life, God is writing your story. Okay, I pray that He uses you in mighty ways, and one day I'll read about all of the things He is doing in your life. Maybe it's just a blog that you have, or some kind of news article about your company that you're running, or something that you've invented, or something you've created, or I'm reading about you in the Pen and Prowl because you're a teacher at SCS. I don't know. But whatever it is, God's using what you're going through and what you've been through and what you will go through to shape you into the one that He wants you to be, and to shape you to be used in the future to do amazing things. So I pray that you keep loving Him and serving others in all that you do, and that your story will be great and bring great glory to our God. All right. I love you. Love God and love your neighbor.